So we begin with, this is it. There's nothing in the world which will bring you what you want. There's no one thing that contains it. There's no action that will lead to it. There's no spiritual path which will get you there. No amount of figuring this out, of intellectually understanding it, of surrendering or knowing or seeing awareness or staying in awareness will lead to you to this, because it is always this, always. The problem is the imagination and that person that believes it's separate from the world and that it needs to get somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. It needs to figure something else. It needs to do something in order to get it. What that movement of energy, that personal energy wants, is emptiness. But it thinks it wants a thing. It wants just this, without that person, without that separation, wanting something else. That's all it ever wanted, was the end of seeking. But it is a seeker. The separate self is programmed to be a seeker. What a weird game. Of all the things life could have set up, that's what is set up. A person that's always looking for itself, or that's always looking for home. And it can never find home because its very nature is what veils home and makes it appear like it isn't home. What a funny game. And it seeks and seeks and seeks, and all it wants is the removal of itself, but it can't remove itself because all it's seeking is growing and growing and growing, that energy of looking. It really begins to believe that it can get here through liberation, through practice, through meditation, that it can get here, and it has many awakenings, but those awakenings just become another part of its story. My story of my life, and this great awakening I had, and I saw God, and life revealed itself to me, and now I know God. just becomes another part of the story that somebody sees, somebody knows, and someone wants to tell everyone else and present as itself. Okay, well, I think that's the end of the introduction. 6 minutes. What a long introduction. Hi, Roland. Hi, Alex. Hello, Lisa. I forgot you were on today. Just went to my Hotmail to send you a video, and woohoo, you are here. I'll send you a video on Hotmail. It's beautiful. I'm so happy to see you. Hello, Nick. Did you still want to speak?
Hello. Now I have to do something, don't I? Do I have to turn off the sound on the
Ustream? Yeah.
Ustream. That's it. How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, or I can hear you. Hello,
oh,
Nick.
That's it. It's just the same, exactly the same, except you can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm out of time on Ustream.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
You speak. That's a bit weird. Okay. I'll try not to get confused, as if I wasn't already.
Yeah, you might find that you have to cover up my face, because that might be quite confusing.
Not look. That's fine. Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about choice, and actually you touched on it in your introduction. You said, I forget what you said, but yeah, I went to see James Eaton the other day. Yeah. And I thought he was lovely. You know, it's the same thing. Yeah, same thing but different, or a different appearance. The thing he does speak about, or did speak about, was, if you like, giving the impression that you get a choice, that there is choice, that, and I've always heard this from most spiritual teachers that I've listened to, and that it's almost like the goal, if you like, is to reach that place where everything you do and all your attention and all your focus is on God, is on not the seeking, but on this, and I believe, in fact, I seem to believe that that's what I lack. I have habitual things like smoking and drinking coffee that it seems like I insist on doing, and then perhaps even use this whole idea, all these ideas about there is no choice. Well, then it doesn't matter what I do anyway.
Are you still there, Nick?
Yes, I'm still there. I just went quiet.
All right. Was that the end of what you were saying, or you were still thinking of a
Well,
question?
I don't know. No, I feel like it wasn't the end, but I just didn't know what to say anymore.
Yeah, I kind of get the gist of where you're going.
It's about you. It was sorry, Lisa. It was about you, and I'd seen in you and heard you talk about before you had this liberation thing happen. You were like that. Everything you did was focused because you become. And in fact, that's what happened to me in my late 20s when I had this earlier awakening. That's what happened. I didn't care about anything else. I was full on, absolutely full on. It's almost like the seeking turns into a kind of, a huge energetic thing, and then it kind of pops. Or I don't know how to put it into words, and I even saw that at one point where it was like thought itself was a way that you could reach the point of no thought. And those are my words for an actual experience that I had where something happened and I got I suddenly saw the light. So yeah, it's just the thing that always comes up, really.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know the way, Nick.
No, of course.
But nobody, it's not just me, there's nobody could, because there are nobodies. There's nobody that could even know the way. But that sounds really ridiculous.
Right. You can't see me, can you?
No.
It's so weird if I look at the screen and you're still talking to me and I'm talking. Yeah.
It's such a ridiculous thing that I'm going to say, Nick, that and James, I don't know the way James speaks. I've never seen James speak at all.
Right. Yeah,
but I do know him, and he seems like a lovely guy.
Yeah.
But so I can't really comment on the way he speaks, but I can just comment on what you said, which is your interpretation of him, which maybe not even be what he says. But
yes, and also a general thing.
Yeah.
From many teachers that they do encourage you to focus, if you like, or bring your awareness into this thing that you're seeking towards, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I don't know about any of that, Nick. I don't.
But Lisa,
I don't know what leads to this. I just know this. So do you. You only know this. But what happens when the personal entity is there is it imagines a lot of things, and then it imagines itself needing to get to this. So it imagines itself lacking this, which is so energetical. It's not even a logical imagining process. It's an energetical thing. It's this person that's separate, that feels uncomfortable, and it wants to get to this, and so it imagines itself, and then it imagines lots of different ways. And the only thing there ever is this, is what is.
Yeah.
It even imagines itself choosing, whereas choices appear.
Yeah.
It imagines it has the ability to focus, where focusing appears from this vast emptiness. There's the appearance of choice and focus, but whose choice and focus is it?
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
I know, but there's not really much else I can say. There's plenty of people out there that tell you they know the way, but I really don't.
Yeah. The beauty of this is talking to you about it is that you do. It's like it's impossible to say it, but it's like the only words I can say is when you speak about there being no choice. It's like I get it, but
there's still that activity of feeling like that feels like so. Therefore, it will go and look for somebody that helps it choose betterly, and that's so okay if that's what's appearing. So it will go and choose. It will go and find somebody who says this is a better way to choose and this will lead you to a better future. And why not, if that's what's appearing? Like, if that's like, it doesn't, I don't,
Oh, that's
either
not,
way.
I'm not, hey Lisa, one thing, don't get the wrong idea. I don't feel anymore that I have a teacher. Like I have some kind of relationship with you, and I might have a relationship with another non-duality teacher or whatever. And it's not, there's nothing competitive going on for me about that at all. There's no like, I'm not comparing at all, actually. Yeah. It was really sweet to be with him, just as it's really sweet to be with you. And it is that, it touches on what I love, so I'm drawn to it. And that's kind of part of the thing, isn't it? It's like this being drawn to what you love. Oh, I don't know.
You see, the thing is the other thing is this makes me sound so cold and so harsh, as you say all these words to me, Nick, and they just don't really make that much sense to me anymore.
Right.
Like the stuff about you being drawn. It's all in fantasy land. There's not a you there.
Yeah.
It feels like
I can't help that, Lisa, can I?
No.
I can't. I mean.
But it's something that I can't go into and help you with, because I can't see you there. So it's a place that I will never be able to go with you.
Yeah,
which is weird.
It's like I'm just presenting my mind to you, and it's and it's like it's just what would be the point of you getting involved?
It's just what you believe to be true, but there's no you there. It's kind of like two different conversations. It's so funny. But I know that you resonate so much with that emptiness or fullness or whatever you call it, which is, but that it has got nothing to do with Storyland. Storyland's appearing in it. It's like us focusing on a tree and believing that the tree will lead us to freedom or something. I'm sure some people would. They believe stones and rocks can. Why not a tree? You know those stones that people buy and put in the house?
Yeah. Oh, I've done all that. Crystals.
Yeah, that's it, crystals.
Yeah.
It's such an impossible conversation. But I don't mean it like this. When this body mind was seeking, it felt like it needed help, so it went and seeked out help. And it was relaxing finding help.
Yeah. I really related to that video of you when you Lisa seeking bits, Lisa the Seeker video. And when you're talking, it's exactly the same thing. I think you were talking about, really, which is
there must be a way.
What's the cause and effect?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You know,
it's the same thing.
I cannot, obviously, I cannot get my head round the cause and effect doesn't exist. It's like, it's fucking obvious, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be cause and effect, really.
Oh, what, it's fucking obvious there's cause and effect? I thought you meant it's fucking obvious there's no cause and effect, and I was like, it's so obvious there's no cause and effect.
And you could relate to that,
That's so funny. I was like, it's so obvious there's no cause and effect. Life is too funny. How's Emily, Nick?
It seems so obvious to the mind that cause and effect, you know.
Well, but only to the mind. The actual reality of it, Nick, is where does anything begin? Like, to the mind, it's like, yes, I pick up the cup, finish. But where does a cause begin? And where does effect end?
Yeah.
How's Emily?
Oh, Tim wanted me to tell you that she's really great, and he's now using Emily as his car.
Oh, nice.
But I think he had a specific message for me. I think it just maybe that he was really enjoying.
Oh, she's such a nice car, but he might need to change the I forgot what they're called in the wintertime. The cords for the damp.
Oh right, the spark plug.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's so weird looking at. I have to not look at you on the screen when I'm talking, because it really is strange. Yeah. Did you have a good time in wherever you were? Greece, Ireland?
Yeah, we had such a nice time. Well, I say we, I don't know about the others, but I had a really nice time. Maybe it was hellish for the others. I don't know. It was living in this community, a really beautiful spot. It was very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no English people that came. There were people from America, people from Greece, from all around the world. No English people except me.
We're all a bit stick in the mud,
Yeah.
us Brits. Yeah. Well, lovely to talk to you, Lisa. I feel like,
Nick.
you know, the only thing I do now is just chat with you about, you know.
Oh, I love you lots, Nick.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Bye. Thanks for calling.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, bye.
Bonjour, Lisa. Hello, Eve. I am on my 10th day of fast. Today I am in silence. I'm very happy to see you. We will talk when I'm finished my 40-day fast, Eve. Hi, Lars. You look great in that chair with the nice contrasts. One wing in Shiva and one in Shakti, right? I'm not sure what you mean, Lars. Hey, Phyllis. Hi, Steve. Hi, Peter. Hi. How sounds one hand clapping? Sounds like a slap on the face of the master. How sounds a fallen tree that no one observes? Sounds like the book page where that quote was written. No causality. Lisa goes to the beach and doesn't return with a nice tan. I think it's a light. Ooh. So the best way to chat to me, so if you've just joined, the best way to chat to me is through Skype, which is Lisa Cairns 12. It's not always easy on Ustream to chat, it's better on Skype. And my preferred way is if you call in, and even if with the red bar on Skype, so I'm not on green, I'm on red, you can still write me messages and ask me to call. So just send me a message and then I'll call you when I see the message. I'm in one of those yawning moods. Hello, Leslie. Hi, Tom. Hi, Mark. Hi, Lisa. So much love wells up in me when I hear you speak about it. Hi. Is this still live, Lisa? Yes, Simon Rain is still live. Oh, 17 days ago. It said 17 minutes. If something happens to the brain, what does that mean for consciousness? Nothing. Consciousness, I don't like the word consciousness. Aliveness doesn't come from the brain. The brain appears in the aliveness. Howdy, there are practices used for thousands of years to help loosen the grip of the self. And these practices and the utilization of the stories is a necessary stepping stone. Colin, how do you know that, Colin? You've read it in a book? You don't even know who you are, but you're convinced you know the way out of it. But I get what you're teaching and totally dig it. The only freedom and the only thing that's known is wordless. Anything we put into words isn't it. And practicing and imagining yourself practicing is conceptual. And honestly, it is an endless trap to try and find the way out of it and to try and work it out. It's how most people, how most body-mind mechanisms go back into the story after awakening to try and work it out and tell other people about it. Everyone is so scared of don't fucking know. What do we know? What do you know? You don't know shit. I've got so many questions in my email box, but I so much prefer it when people call to speak. I want to speak. Let's see if someone wants to speak. I can use a different name if you don't want people to know your name. Okay. Wow. When was the last time I streamed? Hi, Patrick.
Hey, yeah. Well, hang on. Got to turn that other one on. Come on, look at this. That's better. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Long time.
Well, yes, I can't remember when it last was. It doesn't seem like that long ago. Maybe it was.
No,
Did you fall in love again?
No, that one's just. Well, I mean, it's kind of That's brought up two things I want to talk about. Actually, that's brought up two things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And one was
love.
Well, one was about everything being, which it just fascinates me and it gets me. It really, I don't know how to say it. It's like very energetic when I think about it. But you're talking about it's been a long time. You're talking about it's been a long time since we last spoke. But it's like there's been no time at all, has there?
No.
There hasn't been any time, so.
It never even existed, that conversation.
It all comes out of one place, or it all comes out one here, just one.
Yeah.
But even those words they won't.
And it's spontaneously appearing right now, even the image of that having happened. And when the bodies are dead and gone, that will have never ever happened. It's only ever happening with the imagination of that particular body-mind mechanism. If the body died right now, it would never even existed. It's never even happened. It's just imagining appearing now. And this body seemingly adds to its imagination, little bits and bobs.
I really don't understand, but it just seems like freedom. As soon as you say that, it's like freedom.
We look at that time bounce.
The thing I can't understand, it's outside every word that you can speak. Like you said, here and now or something. And now doesn't do it, does it? Because if there's now, there's a then.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with that. So it's like, it really is beyond anything a word can say. And it sounds kind of dull almost to say that because it's been said so many times. But but the words can only say everything that it's not.
Yeah, everything that it can't ever name it. But it's amazing how the human just keeps looking at the world through this time-bound reality, whereas this time-bound reality is arising in this freedom. But the human is obsessed with the time-bound reality, and it's not a reality. It's just imagery that's appearing to help the human survive. But the human's taken that to be who I am.
Because in fact, it's like a prison.
It is a prison.
Words
and it becomes an energy as well, and it feels like you're prisoned inside of your body. But the freedom is the fact that it's all disappearing, or it's all not happening. But when that time-bound reality is appearing, it makes it seem like it's really real and it's really happening. Like this is gone. Where's that gone? It's disappeared. It's amazing. It's absolute freedom. We think that the goneness is the thing to be afraid of. We think that losing thing is something to be afraid of, but it's our freedom. The fact that it's gone. You can't ever grab any of it. It's gone. Disappeared. The human, though, is constantly trying to hold on to stuff, and it can't. It's like an ego being put into a kaleidoscope and trying to hold on to the pictures before. They never even existed, and they'll never exist again. It's like an energy that's always moving. And the human's trying to make realities out of it. This is the way it is. Impossible.
Impossible.
It's gone. Who would have thought the fact that it goes is the freedom? It's gone.
It goes is the freedom. Yeah, it's the me is everything that stands in the way of that, or appears to.
Yeah, appears to. It just is trying to make solidness and understanding and truth and rightness.
But I understand that it's part of it as well. It's not.
Yeah, it's not
really
the devil.
standing in the way, is it?
No, it's part of it.
It's from here the grip is so strong, or appears to be.
It appears to be. Not all the time. I'm sure most of the time when people are eating, I think most of that personal entity disappears. Or eating or bike riding or driving or something. There's such there's so emerged into what's happening.
But it's so different with all that gone.
Yeah.
For good.
Yeah. It's completely different. Because this is it, baby. This is all that's left.
All the me doesn't get it. All that happens is the me fades.
Yeah.
And then this energy spills out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And the me never gets it. What a surprise.
But it can only spill out of incomprehension. It can only spill out of incomprehension. Of nothing. Of where nothing's left. It seems here. And it's extraordinary. It's just wild. Oh, God, that made me jump.
No, I'm sure it did everyone. I'm looking after my mum's dog and my dog, and I gave them their bones just before I started, and now they're going to have a bit of a fight over it.
Yeah.
I like doing that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Hello, sweetie. Now the one with no bones has come to me with big eyes, like. Oh, Cassie! I'll show you him. He's so sweet.
I can't see anything at the moment.
Oh, you can't?
I'll have to watch the...
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
He's so cute. But
I'm blind. I'm blind at the moment.
You're blind. There's nothing.
Yeah. It's so good to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's so... This is so real. And everything else seems so fabricated.
Yeah, it's like, such fabrication.
I know it's insane, but it's like sanity.
Yeah.
It's like sane, and the heart sings, you know. And
the mind is completely insane. I don't mean to be mean to the mind and to all that energy, but it's just living in complete imagined land, and it's useful to an extent for the human, but most of it's complete fantasy. And it's funny from this perspective, hearing people's stories of what they think they are and what they think they know about themselves and what they think they know is about what's happening, because none of it's true, and it really doesn't matter. You won't find any freedom in any of the stories. Like if you're annoyed with a person, the freedom is the annoyance, not the imagining of how to get out of it and never let them annoy you again. It's just got nothing to do with it, and the person sits there and imagines how to protect themselves from this annoying person. And it's an insanity, and it just goes on and on, and more energy goes into that mind activity. Even in liberation, more energy goes into it, because then it focuses on how can I get there and what can I do to get there, and it keeps imagining itself as something where there's nothing in which you are. You can't ever imagine yourself. The only freedom is in what's happening. But you can't even imagine yourself to be in what's happening. It is always what's happening. Even this fantasy of something better. But it's so impersonal, this energy. It's just something that appears in the human because of the ability to think. They also this energy goes into thinking about the body, and then they take that to be who they are, and they get obsessed with what the body chooses, what the body does, what the body feels, the body's emotions, and obsessed about this very narrow part of experiencing. Obsessed. And it's funny, people phone me up all the time telling me their stories, and it's not that I'm meaning to be rude to anyone, but it's just nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, the stories.
It is nonsense.
And we know this, but we're always trying to cover it up, and we get annoyed if someone doesn't validate our story which we're telling. Like, no, that's what really happened. Yeah, right. No, this is really true. Yeah, right. What could possibly be true about this?
Yeah, but there's a sense of freedom, of a pouring of energy or something which is nothing like close to what I want to describe it.
Yeah,
which comes every now and then.
Yeah, and it's like I can't even explain it myself. It's like
it's like a collapse, but it's just when the mind's just falling away, or something like that, and then the emotion. So then the only other thing the mind understands is emotion. So it thinks that it's an emotion. It's not an emotion.
No, it thinks that liberation is an emotion.
It's not an emotion.
It will get obsessed about trying to clear its emotions, trying to have just good emotions, and it's got nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter. Being angry and being happy make no difference. That's not what you're looking for. But
and I always thought that my emotions were the closest thing to it. There's no closest thing. And there's no such thing as an emotion.
This is
just all part of the illusion.
And this is so true, Patrick. But it's so hard to talk about with people, because even in spirituality, we're taught to focus on emotions. You've got to feel your emotions, or you've got to. And it's not about feeling it. It's no more it than everything else. It's just that the person that's obsessed with this very tiny body-mind mechanism that feels things or does things, whereas the body-mind mechanism is only sometimes appearing, but what's always here is this. And this has no flavour. You cannot see it, yet it is it. Who would be the one to see it? You can't know it, it just is. As soon as you know something, you're back in storyland. And stories are practical and needed in some areas for practical living, but most of the time they're absolute nonsense.
Yeah, there's an understanding that keeping that structure up, it takes a huge amount of energy.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Well, I know, separate self here, or whatever, feels that.
Yeah. It is, but it's a really impersonal thing. It's just a functioning of the brain, more than likely, that's got overexcited of the separate energy. But what an exhaustion, because what the person's always trying to do is it's always trying to work out what gives it the most amount of pleasure and get to that most amount of pleasure and avoid things which give it the most amount of pain. And it's so weird what gives it pleasure. It finds pleasure in presenting itself a certain way, people seeing it a certain way.
For me, when it's apparently found, so we were talking about love earlier on, when that love has been found, apparently, then it starts to look, the me starts to look for something else.
Yeah.
And after a while, it starts to look for something else.
Yeah.
So, maybe we all do it, maybe we don't all do it, but
everybody does it.
It's like, I remember, other relationships I was in, and there was always someone else who existed somewhere there, someone else.
Yeah.
And so it'll be the same. There was a rising interest in someone else after a while.
Yeah, it'll be the same with money. It'll be the same with a house.
And isn't that because there's always a looking for home. It's just home.
Yeah.
There's always a looking which is not understood.
Yeah. And it will never be found in any of the stories, including the idea of you practicing meditation or doing a practice in order to get to liberation. It's what's always been here.
Okay, but in the mind there's always a looking. But there is I don't know how to say it now, but it's not really looking, because there's something in us, or there's something there that knows that there's a home.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it knows, because I think that would already be a once removed. I would say that it's more of it's like an energetic thing, like you were saying, of some form of resonance. As more and more these ideas collapse, or when you're listening to a speaker on non-duality, it's like a buzzing, knowing what's being talked about, but not you knowing it in any way.
That's really helps. That's what I'm trying. That's the nub. And
it's like a resonance. It's like everything's resonating with it. Not just it's not a sensation that's limited to the body. It's like
nothing to do with knowing.
No, and this is where all these awareness and consciousness and knowing words get a bit confusing. But
even to say there's a resonance isn't enough, is it?
No, because then that's still somebody resonating. But it's like the whole of,
because the mind will try and make that into something. Yeah.
It always looks for a place.
Wow. But even so, even though it's not really, it feels as the separate entity, it feels like things are very different for me in that small world, in that it has changed things in that narrow field.
Yeah, but you don't know that really. We think we just don't know anything in the thought world. Because then when you're feeling depressed, Patrick, then the mind will start saying nothing's ever changed. I'm always like this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's
just the stories are just come and go.
It's so clever, because when you're not there, it's convinced that everything's changed.
Yeah.
It hasn't. Oh well. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Patrick. Always lovely to speak with you.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah. Lots of love to you. Yeah, lots of love.
All right, lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.
Colin says, how? Ho, ho, ho. You just got to change the letters around. Ho, ho, ho. Who let the dogs out? Who? Charles says you don't know shit. Haha, love it, Lisa. No pain, no gain. No pain, no rain. That's the way it goes, Steve. You got it wrong. No pain, no gain. No pain, no rain. Let's talk. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, is this what you meant by let's talk?
Yeah. Let me see. I'm having trouble hearing you. One second. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hi. How are you, Lisa?
I don't know how I am. I am how I am.
Yeah, maybe that
I sometimes lie and go, yes, good, thanks, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck it, I don't know.
Thank you for your honesty. I had wondered that before, because there's sort of, I see sort of the pretense of needing to be able to have conversation and interact with individuals, and I witnessed that with you, and I'm like, how much of that is just like, is that the truth in that moment? Is that the authentic way that you're speaking, or is that just the need to be able to...
There's no authentic way of speaking. What would be authentic way of speaking?
I guess whatever just arises, what comes up.
Yeah, and that could be a big fat lie, and if it's a big fat lie, that's the most authentic thing there is. That's what's appearing.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm witnessing the neurosis of...
Who's the one that's witnessing that thinks it's the liberated one?
I don't know, but he's sort of an asshole.
At least there's laughter. That could be a disaster with some people.
Where do I even go with this conversation at this point?
We're all fucked. We're just fucked. There's just nothing to say ever.
I got up on stage with a non-dual teacher in Shasta, and I was like, I don't have a question, because there's nothing that I can ask you. And he just like veered in close to me, and I started laughing, and I laughed for like 2 minutes on stage. It was incredibly embarrassing. So, okay.
It's okay, take your time, there's no hurry. And if you want to go, that's fine as well, but there's no, if we go into silence, that often happens.
Wonderful. There's pain in the places that have been contracted, and I feel them. There's a feeling.
The problem isn't the pain. The problem is that one that thinks it's looking at the pain. So you know that feeling that feels like you're observing the pain?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Yeah. Isn't that funny? That one feels like it's your best friend.
Yeah.
Feels like who you are. But that's the one that's what's the problem. The pain is pain that's free. Pain is everywhere. Pleasure is everywhere. Sensations are everywhere. Emotions are everywhere. They're boundless. They don't belong to anything. The problem is the one that's claiming it. Always. The one that thinks it can look at anything. There's nobody there looking at anything. There's this energy, this thought-bound energy, I suppose it is, or this energy which is claiming a position, looking at things. There's no position. This is all free.
How? I mean, it's the same. That one wants to look and solve the problem.
Yeah, and it can't. And how's an endless question. How is how that began? That energy of separating. How to?
The fear of letting go. Fear that things will just fall apart.
Yeah. But that only exists in that imagined land. It doesn't exist in here, in this. There's no falling apart in this. It's only in that imagined person. It's that imagined person that's fearing it. It's so funny how it all works. So it's creating the problem and it's trying to create the solution. Sweetie! Sorry, that's just my dog. It's not you. Lisa! Lisa! Khaleesi! I just have to go and get her 1 second. Lisa! Sorry, I'm back.
No worries.
I forget what we were talking about.
There's sadness around some of the stories that in some ways were really beautiful or are very beautiful.
Yeah.
They're almost poetic.
It can be so poetic and beautiful, the separate self. What it creates can be incredibly beautiful. Like it's a whole different part of experiencing the falling in love and believing that you found it in another person. Wanting to spend your rest of your life with this other person, or all these different stories that you found it in education, that you found it in words. It is beautifully poetic. But it's also terrifying and can be great suffering because you feel limited and you're always trying to end your limitation. But it does have beauty as well in it. And this is talking about a death of that. So in a way, that is sad. This whole person that you thought was you dies, but it never really existed. It was like a dream at night happening while the body was awake.
It's like I want both.
Well, some speakers speak of that now. There's really amazing speakers out there that are very clever at speaking. Like they put it in really nicely. And some speak of both. There is a you and there isn't a you, they say. That's not what's spoken about here. This is total death. Annihilation.
Because I've been speaking that to myself, that it's possible to walk both the line of the non-story and the story. But man, I have been getting my butt kicked trying to maintain any sort of form of awareness of the non-story while still being with the story. It's not working so well.
No.
It's been incredibly painful, and I've gotten very lost. I mean, I guess I haven't gotten lost, but
the stories have become big.
Yeah, they've become very big. Yeah. And it's been very painful.
Yeah, it is. It can be great fun, but most of the time it ends badly because it's all going. And the part of what the stories is trying to hold things in time. So the person meets the lover and it's all about what it will be in the future. You're going to have them forever. You've met this person. It's all about the past and future. But the nature of life is it's all going. It's gone. Right now, these words are gone. It's gone forever. The person's always trying to hold on to it and trying to, I'm with you and we're going to have this in 5 years and da-da-da-da. But these are all gone, gone, gone. And the nature of this is that everything's disappearing. As soon as it appears, it's quite beautiful the way it's happening. It's like a kaleidoscope. You can never quite pin the picture. You can never say that's it because it's always in movement. It's so beautiful. This is why it always feels when the person's there that you're getting your butt kicked because the person's trying to make it more permanent and it can't. It's like trying to contain water in a net. Or trying to grab hold of water. It's impossible. The beauty of it is that it's all disappearing. That's impossible for the person because the person's all about making it exist forever. The disappearance, the emptiness is the beauty of it. Is your freedom. Who would have thought the loss is your freedom? Not you as a story or anything, as the nature, as aliveness.
What's all this story about, like, co-creating, this idea of I mean, it's all disappearing. There isn't anything that is concrete. But I mean, do we utilize the tools that are around us? I guess that would still need to be a separate self that's...
Yeah, imagining itself, utilising the tools. Whatever will happen, will happen. But I don't know what co-creating is.
Right. I mean, it's part of the New Age culture perspective of, like, oh, well then, if all of this is so malleable, if everything is moving, everything is... Then we are manifesting, we are creating the space around us. We are, that which is outside of us is a reflection of what's inside of us. So we get to build this world from that space.
Oh, yeah.
We get to build
That's
our
not
relation.
the same. That's not the same thing as I'm talking about. I'm talking about the disappearance of you, and then all that's left is this. What
right,
is?
I understand.
And there's no...
I understand that you're speaking of the ultimate reality that's here, but what happens from that realization of that ultimate reality? Is there something that we use that understanding for?
No, because I didn't realize it. What happened was the Lisa thing crumbled, and then there's just what is appearing, and there's no imagining of having to control or manipulate the environment, or everything that's happening, including the body of Lisa, is it. So there's no dream of better, yet the body and life moves, and the body's more than likely going to move towards pleasure, but it's all it. You could be sitting in a prison cell and it's it. You could be without any money and it's it. You could be really rich and it's it. All of it's it. The freedom is the disappearance of that person. Who is it that thinks it could co-create its life, or thinks that it realizes this, the absolute? Nobody realizes the absolute. There's just the death of a lie. Freedom's not in co-creating anything, or making a perfect world, or making a perfect environment. The perfect environment is your nature.
It's so incredible because I know and I don't know. I mean, I've touched and simultaneously I've so forgotten, and I blah 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 blah.
But the beauty of it's not that you've touched it, it's that it's here all the time, and every so often those stories collapse in, and then it like ding, here it is, and then the stories come back, and it's back into me, my life, and where I'm going and where I'm off to, and then it goes back in, and then me, my life, I've got to get that back again, and it projects that onto a certain situation, onto having the money or the environment or whatever it is, and then it disappears, and it comes back the person, and it tries to find that again. It's in having the right emotions or right responses, and it's got nothing to do with that. It's right here, screaming. Everything is screaming it, even if that's a shitty toilet or a bog or a very busy shopping mall or something, whatever the mind says isn't it.
It's incredibly frustrating, period. But
only sometimes, though. That's what the mind does, is it wraps up. It's frustrating, period. It's not really true. There's so many different things happening. It may seem like it's frustrating and flip-flopping in and out, and you can't get there, and then it's back and then it's gone, but then you can't round up yourself, just like the answer to how are you. We don't know what we are. It just is. You don't know you've been frustrated. This is so simple, it's really cute.
I so want to do my practices.
Oh, well, if that happens, that
like
happens.
That's going to be what it's going to do.
No,
that's
but
how it's going to...
It doesn't matter practices happen or don't happen, but before you most probably were doing them with the desire to go somewhere. Where are you going to go? Where's your little bus going to go? You're like, okay, we're going to sit here and meditate and we're going to get somewhere. It's always this. It's only in imagined land that you're like, beep, beep. We're getting there, we're almost there.
It's so ridiculous, like the pain and the constipation of the mind and like the suffering, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so simple.
Yeah, it's so simple. And it's the birthright, like it's every being's birthright, because everything's being born in it and is it. It's just the poor human with its complicated thinking got obsessed with the body. I am the body, therefore I've got to choose well and make my pleasure. And that it gets obsessed with emotions, it gets obsessed just by farting, it gets obsessed with everything of the body. The digestion, the food, it's obsessed. Me, my body. Thankfully it didn't project on that it was like the wall or something and got obsessed with the wall. Maybe that would be an easy one. Imagine if the human had got it the other way around when it started to project. So the complicated thinking started and it went, instead of going, I am the body, it went, I am everything but the body. Or something like that. It got it the opposite way around. And then it's trying to control everything outside. It's like, this got to go there. Why can't I think the chair to sitting?
So well trained to be like, okay, so what do I do? What the hell do I do? You know?
And the dog is absolutely free, and it never has the problem. It never thinks it's the body, and it never thinks, what can I do? It just is doing, even if that's just sitting there. There's nothing to be afraid of, this endless time. Everyone's afraid of this endless time. It's like discomfort comes, discomfort goes. Frustration comes, it goes. Joy comes, it goes. Endless thisness.
There's just so many shitty patterns to easily get like wound up in.
But who sees that? Yeah, who sees that? The only thing there is this. It's just this frustration, and then there's imagination of how you've got yourself this frustration and how it's your fault. Who? You aren't that imagination. This is it. This is what is. That imagining's always been a lie, and there's no freedom in any of that imagining. Trying to work out your patterns, trying to work out your archetypes.
It's strange because in prior times I could hear you more crisply. Like my body could hear you more crisply, and it's like there's like a block. There's like a fuzziness that's like, no, shit. She's saying that truth again. Oh crap! Like and I can only glean so much. It's like my brain is like it's like a little fuzzy around wanting to let that depth of just the realness of it come in.
But how do you know all this?
I have no idea. I have no idea how I know any of this. Because I'm holding on to this separate...
Who's holding on? This is all imagining. I'm not letting you go anywhere. I'm like, dunk, 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 dunk.
It's good. It's like, shit. Oh, okay. Yeah. I would have to totally be myself. I would have to let like all the craziness that is this being totally flow. And
it's not even you. It's not even you have to let it.
Well, it would.
It's just that one that thinks it's controlling would fall away, and then it's all free to be as it is. You are no different from the room which you're seeing. The room which you're seeing is free to be as it is in a way, whereas the body, the thoughts come up and say, no, the body's got to behave like this. But even with the room, you're still labeling it and putting it in its box. but you're not judging the wall and saying, bad wall, you're in the wrong position. But for the human body, it's loads of, like, it should be like this and should be like that. And when that dissolves, it's just as it is. It's not imagining what it'll be seen like or what it should or shouldn't do. It's just as it is. But you couldn't let yourself be like that, because that would just be another position. I'm going to let myself be. Who? Who are you? Then boom.
Okay.
Is your name Colin?
It is, yeah.
And that's how Colin's normally spelt?
That's how my name's spelled. Yeah. Other people have it spelled with one L.
With one L. You just look different from Colin. Not a very good reader. So just one extra L can confuse me.
I was worried I was going to speak with a British accent when I talked to you, because that just happens sometimes. And I was like, oh man, because it's a horrible British accent, and it would have just would have been incredibly embarrassing.
Whereabouts is your accent from? Whereabouts in America?
I grew up in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. So I have no idea what that sounds like compared to other, U.S. accents. Maybe Western. Do I sound like I'm from a Western?
No, you sound quite generic American.
That's what I always figured. It's kind of like neutral America is the accent that I've always figured we have in Colorado.
Yeah, it does sound quite neutral. Maybe sweetie.
Well, do you have others that are waiting to speak with you?
No, more than likely, yes.
Okay. If I can clear space, this was really, really, really beautiful.
It's lovely speaking to you, Colin. And if you feel like something else comes up, just call in.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Colin. Bye. I'm just going to make myself another cup of tea. 2 seconds. And give Khaleesi the rest of her dinner. Khaleesi! Come on! Not you, Cass. You get one of these. Colin says, what's the schedule for the live sessions? So, on Sundays, I do it at 5 p.m. BST. So that's an hour and a half ago now. So that's an hour and a half from now. And then on Wednesdays, it's 7 p.m. BST, British Summertime, which is half an hour from now, which would be 7 p.m. So you can work that out. Laugh's the best medicine. I love dogs. Hi, Paul Smith. Hi, Julianne. Hi, Lou. Lolo, my sister told me that every time you say who, she remembers the song, Who Let the Dogs Out? Who let the dogs out? I think that was when I was at school, that song. So quite a long time ago. Lisa, would you please explain how we can remain selfless in situations in which we are surrendered by individuals and taken for granted identities? Thanks. Surrendered by individuals and taken for granted identities. That sounds like a bit of a victim story, Mansour. That you're taken for granted entities or something. But you can't. It's not you. There's not a you there that's remaining in selflessness. Who would be the person that's remaining in selflessness? You can't. There's just what is. Okay, this is Pat. This is from Leslie. Hi, Lisa. Don't always take it for granted, guys, people, whoever, that I know who you are. Like, often I'll recognise names and faces together, but sometimes when it's just a name, I get confused. So, when people participate in rituals such as prayer, tithing. What is tithing? Ancestry workshop, goddess workshops. What is really going on there? Many people report that they get positive changes in their lives when they participate in these rituals. And since coming across non-dualism, it would seem that nothing is happening as a result of these rituals, that the results were what was coming for that person all along, whether they did the ritual or not. Would you agree? No, there couldn't be anything else than what's happening, and if in what's happening there's ritual happening, that's what's happening. Then the person makes up a story that they were something, that they were before the ritual like so, and then after ritual like so, and then they say that was better or worse, and that's just a made-up story which they think they know about themselves, but then they take it as a reality, and that's not what I'm talking about. Things might seem to make you feel better in the story, and that's nice if they do. But we're not talking about stories here. We're talking about that in which all and everything is appearing in, and which no thing has it. They say that those stories are leading to enlightenment, but that's not the same enlightenment. We're talking about something else. So, why bother praying or trying to manifest something to happen, right? It happens or it doesn't happen. It's not you doing it. It just happens. Do we not have any relationship with the spirit guide or angels? Thanks, Leslie. You might do in your dreams, but that's in the dream of you and somebody else. That is just what's happening. Anina, Anina, Anina. Dear Lisa, this is for Anina. Dear Lisa, such a long question for you, sorry. I'm just too shy to call in or something like that. You speak that enlightenment is being like a child or an animal. My mother thinks that if so, it's not a good thing because children and animals don't know about responsibilities. She thinks that people just want to escape from the suffering or the responsibilities if you've done something bad. She also thinks that there is so much suffering in the world that it cannot be escaped and we just have to be unhappy all our lives. And we can be liberated totally only when we are dead physically. Children must someday stop being enlightened and grow up and face the world she calls reality and stay there. So I intellectually know that the problem with my mother's worldview is the identification with the body and mind, the ego, and still I can't prove it, I can't see it clear. I can't be sure, not feel anything outside my ego myself. I feel small and trapped. I've really cried because of this. How can I become free of my mother's small world view without building a new one and stopping identification? I know you will ask me who wants to be liberated, but I can't understand that question. Yeah. You can't. It's so obvious and clear here, but it sounds ridiculous sometimes to say to body-mind mechanisms. I've tried, but I only understand it intellectually. Is there anything else I can do? Sounds stupid to ask this, because intellectually I know that there is not. However, happy to hear if there's anything arising there. To give you something to do is just to validate who you think you are. And it's just in this loop, this hamster wheel, going round. And then you chase doing, sitting and meditating or standing on one leg. If any of that happens, that's what's happening, but when it's about you doing it, who is that person? But that sounds crazy, right? But remember, all of this is stuff that you think you know. You think you know this about your mother. You think there's actually a mother inside that body that believes all this. She only believes all this when you ask her. When you don't ask her, there's nobody there. My dog is up to mischief. I know she's up to mischief. I left the loft open. Leasy Loosey! Now that's what imagining is for, imagining potential dangers that could happen to bodies. Not the imagining of who you think you are and who you think your mother is. And you think that your mother thinks all this. When she doesn't speak it, there's nobody there, there's nobody solid. The same with you. When this isn't felt and these words don't come out, there's nobody there that feels all this in the background. It's gone. Freedom is it goes. Thanks for your question, Anina. I find it hard to say your name. Anina. Hiel. Hello, Hiel. So this is basically, oops. Hiel telling me that I'm wrong, he's right. Okay, Hiel. You're right, Hiel. I'm wrong. Again, no response on my beautiful comment. Well, I get not. This is from Hiel. This is what he's saying. Tony is about the only one who isn't a teacher. You talk about teachers and call yourself a teacher. That's right. Only Tony isn't a teacher. He isn't even anything. There is only nothing. Or maybe because you live near Germany, rather than going like that. I know you're Dutch, but you live kind of near Germany. You understand Germans. Maybe I should be like that instead. I always say Tony's Nazis when I come across this kind of Tony is the only one. He is God. Okay, Heel. What can I reply to that, Heel? I know you're going to send me an angry message that I didn't reply, but what can I say? If you think that he's the only teacher and that he's nothing, that's what you think, or you think he's not a teacher, that's what you think. That's just what you think, Heel. That's it. And you think I'm bad, that's it. You think this, you think that, that's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong, or he's right or wrong. What does any of it matter? This is it, baby. And none of it matters, none of these stories. But it's hopeless engaging with you because Hi, Megan. Hi, Lisa. Here's the message I sent through Skype earlier. Hello, I was wondering if you could talk a bit more about the whole nothing has ever happened business. Haha. Somehow it seems easier to accept that no one thing has ever happened because you can't find the start or the end of anything. But the mind wanders back through history. I guess we can't really only say that apparently the American Revolution seems to have happened because the US is independent now, etc. So the story seemingly makes sense. Sorry for all the capped letters. I prefer talking to writing, but I'm not sure I'll have internet later and may have to listen back. Thanks, all the best. I'm here now, Megan, if you want to call. Yeah, it seems to have happened, but that isn't who you are. You're not somebody that can see the past and see the future and that has existed in the past and exists in the future. But it seems to happen when the thoughts need to come about the American Revolution, they come, and then when they don't, it doesn't exist. There's just this. And then when thoughts need to come about how to change a fuse, thoughts come about how to change a fuse, and then when they go, and there's no fuse, and there's no changing, and there's no anything. It's always what's happening. Oops. Sorry, guys. Boob action! Boobs! Cassidy! Khaleesi! Cassidy! Cassidy! No! Cassidy! Lisi! No. That's not something to bark at. Inside. Inside. They're in a new place and I have to keep on at them not to bark at certain things, otherwise they will carry on barking. Now that's what the intellect was originally for, to work out problems and how to fix them, but then it takes itself as something and then tries to constantly fix itself. It's not who you are. The appearance of time is only a functioning. It's not a reality. Okay, Megan, thank you. Oh, there's another one from Jill. Yeah, you get so much emails because you give people something to hold on to. Not a good sign, girl. Oh, that's from Hiel again. Okay. This is from Scott. Hi Scott, Lisa. I've watched some of your videos and I wonder sometimes when you stop speaking and close your eyes, I think, what is that about? Do you meditate? Scott, no, I just close my eyes. Or the body just closes its eyes. That's it. This is she meditating, what's happening? Hi, Shiraz. Thank you, Lisa, for serving. Serving dinner? Serving what? I understand that which is real and only being that is living in all of us. That there is no other only being. Now even asking feels so foolish, and yet the question appears. What can be done now to awake? Love? Shiraz Fazl. Shiraz Fazl. Shiraz Fazl. What can be done to awaken? What I tend to suggest to people, Shiraz Fazl, is to donate $1,000 to my bank account, and then that tends to help. What do you want? What could we say that isn't bullshit? Do this, do that, come on this course, do that course. It's all in imagined land. This is it, baby. This is it. And anyone that thinks they know is just them thinking they know, and then you believing and you thinking you found a way to go to things, and it's all in this hamster wheel. Me, my life, my story, where I'm going, what I've done, where I've been. I've got to tell you this, my heart is now open and I really hear your words with an open heart. Me, my life. All there is what is. Nothing you think is true. This is it. You don't even know who you are. So then, without even knowing who you are, who could even want to know how to awake? But £1,000 in the bank account might help. That's the only thing. Isn't it, Khaleesi? It's the only thing. Khaleesi would say 1,000 chicken bodies in the bank account. 1,000 chicken bodies, wouldn't it? And she's quite partial to duck, so maybe like 500 chicken bodies and then 300 duck and 200 fish, maybe? What do you say, Khaleesi? Cuckoo, sweetie, she's so sweet. She's not happy with the neighbours next door. Cuckoo, sweetie. Oh, high alert. We're on high alert, sweetie. High alert, sweetie. So to her, she's not responding to an imagination of fear. There is just a response to the sounds happening, but she's not laying in bed imagining herself in the future in relationship with something that's fearful. It's just happening moment to moment. There's not somebody in there constantly imagining itself in situations. It's just happening. Okay. Hi, Marine. Dear Lisa, how do I cope with being haunted by my awful past? It's having a negative knock-on effect on my children. The only freedom is the end of the you. Anything else is just like putting patches on a leaking boat, putting band-aids on a leaking boat. The body might go and seek out help from therapists and all these sort of things, and it might improve things and recondition the body slightly. But the end of suffering can only be with the collapse of that person. And how to get there is only in that person's story. What I'm talking about has got nothing to do with that. It's about this. Really, there's not somebody there with a haunted past. Cassidy! Cassidy! Okay, we have to go inside now. Cassidy! In we go, Mister! I have to put them inside. Mr. Cassidy! Every time you bark, you fart. Are you aware of this? It stinks in here. Ooh la la! Jesus Christ. There is nothing. Poof, there's nothing that needs to be looked after here. It's fine. Ooh la la. I am coming to the States soon, Colin. I'm doing this festival, which I think will be really, really cool. It's with ACIM, and it's in Utah. And I think it's like a 5-day festival, and basically I talk as much as I like. I've got a room and I can talk with people as much or as little as I like. So there's no schedule. I think it's just basically if somebody asks me, then I just go and sit and talk. So hi Katie. So your name's Katie? Yeah, sure, I can get to your question quicker. I can't see it in here. Have you got a different name, Katie? In your email? Let me look up Katie. I think you must have a different name on your email, Katie. Yeah, but it burns your ears off when Cassidy barks. He's cross Alsatian. He's very good at the security. And you see, these are fantastic things about the human imagination. We can comprehend that this is a safe area and barking's not needed, whereas a dog is just responding to each sound. But the problem with that imagination, then it becomes personal. That is who I am. I'm the person imagining, and I'm this body. And the barking and everything else is separate, and I've got to control just this body. But the imagination is a very handy thing for the human. It's not bad, but it's not who you are. And it's only needed when it's needed. And then when it disappears, it disappears. There's nothing to hold on to. It's not the way it is. That door's not really a door. The dog's not really a door. The body's not really a body. They're just limited words and able to be able to make a safer environment for the human. I can't find your question, Katie. Might be because you've got a different name, so if you just say what your email is. So this is from Paul. Hi, Paul. Or email it again, Katie, right now. That'd be good. Thank you, Lisa. I have just discovered you. It's amazing how things unfold. Answers come up at the right time. So now, always. But what really has to come to be realized is that a me can only know separation. That so-called expansion can't be known because it is what is always here. Yes. Also, you can only know what you are not. To step aside from something. To step aside from something and separate yourself from it, only through thoughts can this be done. Yeah, it can only be through thoughts. But it is our experience, even though the natural reality is just everything happening. it is not actually to even say I, as it personalizes everything, I think. This is the problem, or the confusion anyway. It feels personal. It feels like continuously NCC. There's something more. It's clear. Okay, there's no question there. It's just a thank you. Okay. Thanks, Paul. It couldn't have been any other way. Okay. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, how'd Lisa? You look lovely. Haircut? Anyways. An inattention arises, and I'm okay with it, but it concerns life choices which are hard, rightly so. I don't know if it is the universe pushing me or if I'm just not seeing clearly. I guess my question is just that. I often feel stuck and unsure of what will move me and when. Like I know I'm sure as hell, have no control, but I'm here waiting for life to push me. I wish that I had a certainty, but is that a useful wish? Probably. Is more that I must deal with the uncertainty about life choices, about what moves me. Anyways, more mumble. I know things are working out, will work out for the best. However, I like the light you shed on these things. Oh no, Kathy. Oh, Katie. Things won't work out for the best. The body will die. Dun dun dun! Everything dies! Or you could say something gets reborn if you want to be more positive, but I like to be dramatic. Or the body changes into something else. So the destiny of the body is to die or to move into something else or to change into something else. So things won't work out for the best because most people associate best with growth, with getting things. If you don't associate best with that, then who knows what you mean by best. It's funny with meanings, isn't it? I sometimes wonder if really stupid people are the really intelligent people. Because nothing has any meaning, and to assume meaning on anything is kind of a really stupid thing. To assume I know what you mean best is, or work out for the best. We don't know fuck all. The geniuses are the stupid people. True wisdom is to know you're an idiot. Oh yes, the question. Yeah. Katie, I'm sorry to say, but whatever's going to happen will happen. And there's no freedom in any of that pondering of it. That just goes round forever. It never finds a solution. It thinks it gets to a solution and then another problem starts. And then it thinks it gets to a solution and another problem starts. That's just an endless wheel of me and my life and my problems and fixing. A choice will get made at some point, and then something will happen and something will happen and it will keep on moving. The only freedom is this, is what's happening. This is it. Thanks, Katie. Now you can go to work. This is from Monty. Hi, Monty. I like that name. Monty. That's a good dog name, Monty. Monty. Like Bonnie, Khaleesi, Cassidy, Monty. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for making yourself available to the public. It's so funny because that seems to make sense, but I really don't make myself available, but that's what it seems like, eh? Questions. Lisa says she loves animals and nature. There are apparently people... Oh, God. There are apparently people out there destroying nature, and apparently their actions can be... I think this is a really... can be stopped. I think that's a fancy way of saying stopped. And apparently the actions can be stopped if things are done to oppose them, such as protests. Would Lisa participate in such protests? It's funny because whenever I've participated or the body's been to protests, I've never seen so much hate in my life. Funny, eh? Same question asked in a more generalised way. Lisa, the character, still has preferences, e.g. loves nature. But what's nature? You say I love nature. A city's nature, really. If life goes against her preferences, nature is being destroyed. I don't know if nature can be destroyed. I think you're way too intelligent for me. You see, you think that all these things can happen, and I'm not sure if they can. I don't even know what it means. Or it could be the other way around. You're the really stupid one, and I'm the intelligent one, but neither matter any description. But I don't know all these things. Does she surrender to life, so it be, or she surrenders to her preference? But you're just looking at me and projecting yourself into this body of Lisa and assuming that in this body it's the same as in Monty's body. Basically what it comes to, Monty, is this fear of the destruction of Monty's body. This fear of destruction of Monty. So then he asks this question as if it's important. And because it's saving other people, it seems like to him and other people that it has validity. Saving the environment is important. But Monty's just scared. So then he tries to save other things or work out how to save other things. Or dreams about saving other things. Lisa, the mind-body complex is acting according to its current programming. Is this the right understanding? If so, how is it different from all the unenlightened people? In society where everyone is enlightened, people will be just like animals living out their unborn instinct and preferences. Fights and wars would still be the norm in such society, wouldn't it? Because in nature, fights and killings are the norm, apparently. If you answer them on YouTube video, please give me a link. Thanks a lot. We don't know what it will look like. Nature's not always at war. What's happening in nature and in the whole of life is that one thing is turning into another, turning into another, turning into another. The plant grows. When it gets to its most beautiful, it begins to rot down again into the earth and becomes the earth. The dog grows, and as it gets more strong, it kills things in its environment to become even more strong. Then eventually it will be the hunted. It will become weaker through age, and then it will be the hunted. And it will be killed and eaten and become something else. Nature's not at war. I don't see war in nature. It's just a beautiful movement of energy. Sometimes it's incredibly sad, sometimes incredibly beautiful, but I don't see it at war. And I don't see it of my needing my saving. It's just as it is. It's all moving by itself. And it's all this. And it's all perfectly still and moving at the same time. Humans are also nature, and the human body isn't in war. The persons that believe they exist inside the bodies think they're in a world of war and peace, and then therefore they're either in war or peace. It's just what they think. Just in their world. They're in good and bad and right and wrong and control and not control. And when that personal entity dies, then there's no world and there's no war or peace. It's just as it is. Perfect, brilliant expression. The most brilliant expression. The most brilliant creativity. But this is a very clever argument by the mind, because saving people, saving the environment, seems like the highest meaning and the highest God in our society. It's a very clever question, or very stupid, I'm not sure. But thanks, Monte! Monte! I accept. Belief, pate, roll. Belief, patrol. Well, belief, petrol. I believe petrol. Pat, roll. Patrol. Okay, high belief. We'll just call you belief. I accept. We don't know how anything happens, but it happens. I don't know how my arms move, but it moves. I don't know how to have the self fall away, but it apparently does happen either. But do you know that it's there? It does seem to happen, though. But do you actually know it's there? How do you know it's there right now? Who knows it's there? That appearance is free. It's happening in boundless freedom. It's not who you are. How do you know you're there? This is from Pa One Attention. Pa One Attention. I think I've called you Pat in the past. Pa One Attention. My life is usually flowing like a river. Oh yeah. And then it doesn't. Then the beavers knock down some trees, and there's a dam. They create a dam, and then it's not flowing. Oh, then it's flowing again. Then it's not flowing. Whose life? You never find freedom in a dream. You'll never find freedom in the idea that your life is flowing like a river. Who? It's a story. It's not true. My life is usually flowing like a river. Fluid. But the past 2 weeks, here we go, a beaver's knocked something down. There's been nothing but chaos, like I'm paddling upstream, only to crawl up the riverbank to get smacked with another challenge. You don't find any freedom in it, that's why. I can see that I have no free will. Who can see that? Who knows that? And this is what God is giving me at the moment. But I'm just so angry about it, having no one to blame for my challenges. I'm constantly finding myself blaming and cursing at God for putting me through these crazy challenges these last few weeks. I don't know what else to do to release my frustration. I think the concept of loving God is complete bullshit. It's more than that. I don't want to become bitter. What would you suggest? It is as it is, Leslie. It is as it is. You thought your freedom was that your life was flowing like a river. Life is as it is. It's growth and destruction. There's no freedom in that. It appears, it disappears in the stories. The freedom is right here, right now. Right this. Not in any of that. Whose life? What life are you looking at? If my dog is, taken away from me now and put in a tiny cage and is in pain and crying, it still doesn't see its life as terrible and being taken away from me. It's just pain in that moment. That's the freedom I talk about. Whose life, Leslie? This must be a long session today. It's because I haven't done it for quite a long time. Hi, Lisa. This is hilarious. I still need to hear the answer from other people rather than just trusting my feelings. Whose feelings? I hear from all of you non-dual guys what I want to hear anyway. Well, it's not what you want to hear, but the mind will interpret it. There's not a you there, but the mind will interpret it and it will be interpreted. Now, even worse, because I've just started contacting you by email, at the same time having not much to say or ask. Maybe it comes because I'm getting bored with people. Now even worse because I've just started contacting you by email and at the same time having not much to say or ask. Maybe because I'm getting bored with people. With people I'm spending time so far and looking for some more interesting talk, if any is needed. You don't know all of that. Okay, there is one issue. What do you mean exactly saying boundless space or aliveness appearing in a void? It sounds like grabbing a rabbit from a hat and a boundless space. If I sit in a room, I see walls and nothing behind that. If I sit on the grass field, still I've got horizon, sun, point I can refer to. What do you mean saying everything is happening and nothing is happening in the same time? I can't be conscious about things which are not happening right now, and definitely nothing is not happening right now. It is nothing. I can't explain it to you anymore, but it is nothing. Thanks for reading, and if you're willing to answer, please write me a date of the talk so I can find it later. Missing void. It is nothing. But maybe you imagine nothing as something. So you'll look endlessly for nothing. I can't answer. I can't say any more than that. Hi Lisa, wondering why you said something, or more accurately, whose life you were verbalizing. So on your last YouTube entry, Mark, I'm so sorry, but I can't visualize who you are or any conversations that we've ever had before. This brain is just rubbish. So if you're talking, I can't remember the last conversation. So on your last YouTube entry, you were wearing purple. You began by saying that people in... That doesn't help by telling me I wear purple. I cannot remember the talk. You begin by saying that people in duality are always wanting life to be better and wanting their life to be better than their neighbours. I'm not sure about this, or maybe you meant something else, but I don't see my life like that. I don't experience it in this way. If there is any difficulty or just feeling hard done by me, it's not at all wanting to be better than my neighbour. It's not... What a bullshit, Mark. Why out of everything I say would you pull out that bit? Of all those thousands of words, why would you want to write to me to tell me you don't feel better than your neighbour? We're such full of bullshit. To Hungary and having no means of getting out of financial jams or being treated like shit by people above you at work, volunteer. That's a joke, by the way. But to get back to it really treated like shit, talked down to. Do you see how it might be? Oh, hang on. There is a situation here which is wealthy manipulators manipulate more wealth at the costs of not so fortunate. Oh, at birth. What? Not, I think what I see is if you want to get on, you better go along, and a little tweaking of the unfair rules in the game will be an impossible effort. Thanks for reading. Would like to hear what you think of what I've said. All I hear, Mark, is a victim story. This victim that you're hard done by life, and that you've imagined this perpetrator of these other rich people out there that have hard done by you. You are the perpetrator and the perpetrated. You are the victim and the abuser. Not you, there is no you, but in the story of Mark, both appearing in the story of Mark and are Mark. Thanks for reading. Would like to hear what you think, what I've said, or respond to in your words and their survival strengths. Okay. So it's just a story, and Mark's imagining both. There's not even a Mark there. In the story of Mark, both are being imagined. The perpetrator, there's no perpetrator out there. It's just life happening, and there's, to the dog, even as it's being killed, say, by another dog that's stronger than it, it's still not imagining that it's perpetrated or that it's the victim. It's just as it is. That's the freedom, not the stopping the perpetrator. We get so lost in thoughts. Hello, Lisa. I heard you talking in one of your introductions recently about how we are always looking for more than what is already here. Is this similar to what many others talk about when they say just be present with your present feelings rather than feeling that urge to constantly escape the negative feelings of now? Many thanks. Is it similar? I don't know who you mean, but I wouldn't ever say be in the now, or you've got to feel your feelings. I would always question who. I don't know who they mean by that, or who they're trying to encourage to feel their feelings, or to be in the moment. Who? Who are you, Adam? Do you experience highs and lows, hope and disappointment? Maria here seems to think it's relevant. It's only relevant so she can compare herself to it. You don't really give a fuck about Lisa. That sounds so aggressive, I didn't mean to. You don't really give a fuck about Lisa. Let's be honest. It's only relevant so you can compare yourself to her, to your imagined idea of who she is. Are you a nihilist? I don't know what I am. Maybe you think you know what I am, but I don't know what I am. Oh yeah, so I was telling you guys about America. So I think that's, hang on, we just got some more questions on Skype. This gives me a grand bit. To give me a grand bit. Why is Chiel guy on this slagging Lisa trip comparing you to Tony? Here's to Chiel. Stick to Tony then. Well, it's kind of cute because he watches all my videos, but he then criticises all my videos. Yeah, but he watches them all. Don't say this out loud. Oh, Julie. No matter what, it's what's happening. Stick to Tony then. He's just Chiel's in the drama of wanting to be right. And he needs Tony to be right and for everyone else to be wrong. He just needs those two polarities at the moment. Not right or wrong. Just as it is. There's so many that are around Tony that are like that. They all fall into that. A lot of them fall into that. Tony is right. Ta-da! Tony Nazi. Who's right? Who's wrong? It's all in your imagination. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh yeah, so we're talking about America. Yeah, so I'm doing this thing in America. It's in Utah, and it's like, I think the 27th or something to the 3rd. But I'm most probably staying there. There's a film festival after for the film festival as well. And it should be pretty cool. And there's music there. It's like a whole festival that you can go and camp at. I'm sure you get fed. Although I don't know. I haven't read the website. I don't know what happens. And then next month I'm doing talks in Holland and Belgium. So I'm doing talks in Amsterdam at the beginning of the month, next weekend. 4th, 5th and 6th, I think. Yeah, the 4th, 5th and 6th. And then I'm in Belgium doing talks the 18th, 19th, 20, 21 and 22. So more than welcome to join any of that. And then Utah in August. Okay. Thank you very much. Lots of love.